Hey there everybody, it's Womack here. I wanted to make a quick video today talking about the Legere Signature, specifically tenor saxophone reeds. A couple of things you need to know if you're going to play these reeds or you want to try them out. These are considered by most people to be the best synthetic reed. I know a lot of people who play other synthetics and they get great results, but I think the consensus among the entire saxophone community is that these are the best ones. It's closest that we've gotten yet to being what we want. Right now I play this this Robusto tenor sax mouthpiece. It's like a 7 double star, and sometimes I play this Link. It's modified Link. It's kind of like a Florida Link, and I play on Java 3s or 3.5s mostly. So the first thing you need to know is that the strengths on the reeds are fairly useless. The two range, I think, they kind of line up with cane reeds. Once you get to 3 and above, they're really stiff. They have no heart. They sound awful. The ones I tried. So the signatures, I started out with a 3. Way too stiff. It feels like a 5 or a 6. And it sounds like, dog shit. It sounds terrible. Okay, I get down into the 2.75s. Those sounded okay. They were playable. I'd give them on a scale of 10, maybe a 6.5 or a 7, maybe a 7.5, which doesn't totally suck. If you always had a 7.5 out of 10 reed, you wouldn't want to kill yourself because of that. A 3 is way too hard, so I tried a 2.5 just to see, and the 2.5 was better in every way. So the heart to bark ratio was totally off. It was easier to play, less resistance than the 2.75, but it sounded like it had more material in this area that we usually associate with your tone in a cane reed. I don't know where the hell the tone comes from in these things because they're not cane. But I thought this might be a fluke, so I bought 2 or 3 more. So I have a total of, I think, 4 2.5s and 3 2.75s, and it's consistent across the whole, my whole collection, all 7 of them. Okay, quick edit. When I talk about the heart to bark ratio, I'm talking about heart, which is the area right in here, the heart of the reed where you get your tone from. The more heart, the bigger the tone, the more full the sound is. But so the bark is the amount of resistance. Bark equals cane, so it's not really amount of cane, it just feels like it. So the heart to bark ratio is how much tone does it have versus how hard is it to play. Okay, thanks. So the ratio of strength to tone that you would expect is backwards. I don't know what a 2.25 sounds like. Steve Neff did a review where he played a 2.25 and a 2.75 and felt like he wanted something about in the middle. After I played the first 2.5, I thought to myself, man, if I just had 0.25 more of tone and 0.25 more of resistance, it would be pretty damn close to perfect, I guess. So I bought a couple more 2.75s, and nope, no, it was more resistant, not in a good way, and the tone was less. So that's the first thing you need to know. The strength comparison charts are off, and the heart to bark ratio is not consistent with what you would expect in a cane reed. If that makes sense, I hope it does. Number 2, the second thing you need to know. These reeds are quieter. They play quieter than a cane reed. You can have the same amount of resistance from the reed in the mouthpiece, the same amount of air, the same amount of pressure And you can A-B these all day long with just about any cane reed, and it's 10 or 15% quieter. They do not produce as much volume. Okay, so what's the big deal? If you get a tone you like, who cares? Well, when you try to push these to get that extra 10%, they break up and they sound horrible. The tone completely loses it. It sounds like crap. So, inevitably, what's going to happen is you're going to be on a gig and you're going to be 10 to 15% quieter than you normally are, which is probably going to be way too low. Okay, the sound guy's not going to want to turn you up with good reason, because if he actually turns you up to where you need to be, your gain and your volume would probably be above the vocalist, and nobody wants to see that. Psychologically, for a sound guy, they do not want to see that because they're probably pushing the envelope with the vocalist anyway, and they're afraid they're going to feedback. So if you have total control over your live sound, or you have complete trust in your sound engineer, maybe you can give it a shot. But if you're like me, you play in a lot of bars, you play with rock and roll bands, funk bands, blues bands, loud bands with guitars, it's going to be tough. When I first started figuring this out was, I think, last 4th of July. We were doing sound check outside. I got a level. I was playing one of these, and it sounded great. I decided to play the Star Spangled Banner. I played it. Great tone. I actually got compliments from a couple of musicians that were there hanging out that I trust their opinion. It sounded great. Band cranks up. All of a sudden, my tone is awful. And it was because I was pushing harder because I needed to, and the tone breaks up. And it was awful. So, the heart to bark ratio, these things play quieter. 2 things you need to know. Please let me know what you think, what your experiences with these reeds are, and I appreciate any of the feedback. If you like this video, I guess keep an eye out for some more, because I'm going to make 3 or 4 talking about random sax stuff, what have you. All right, good luck. I hope this was useful. Cheers.